let's take a look at this. Akshan tries to catch me. Boom, 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 boom. We have to take this fight. And Xin Chao engages. We have to kill him now fast. Boom, boom, boom. He's dead. Take the dragon. Oh, damn. Fast finger combos with Akali that you can do. Oh, and of course I get him as well. Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to another Wild Rift video, and in today's video I'll be playing Akali. So, quick little details. I am a challenger player. I mean, I reached challenger like a week ago, and I haven't played Akali for 2 months. So I just randomly picked Akali again, and I had a game, and I really want to show you guys how it looks like when, you know, like a challenger player like me just randomly picks up a champion like Akali, who's very hard to play, by the way, and just plays it in a ranked match. I'm also going to explain to you how to exactly build Akali, because I have actually done research behind that. I've made previous Akali videos, and there are different builds that you can go for, but this is basically the best build. And let me explain to you why I'm doing it like this, because obviously there are other builds that are better in some ways. So let me first show you the other build that I also find quite good. And yeah, oh, by the way, there's timestamps in the description to just skip to the gameplay immediately. So you have this build, okay? This build is better in some ways than the other build that I showed. First of all, it's stronger in the early game. This build is actually way stronger in the early game because this item deals a lot of burst in the early game. Really a lot. It's so powerful. It just deals so much burst damage. But the thing is, when you reach the late game, it really, you know, it doesn't really become that significant. And the item is also definitely not cheap either. But the good thing about this build as well is you're likely gonna have this item before the first dragon. So it's gonna be a way bigger power spike than this build, where you're going to be going for the hunting goose and then for the Rabadon. So your power spike is going to be a bit delayed. But the thing is, besides that early game thing, this build is basically way stronger. And there's only one other thing that the other build has, which is vampirism. You have 15% vampirism, but as I said, you're really going to be lacking damage in the late game with that build compared to this one. So before talking about this build, there's like a challenge in the game right now, which is name that champion, you know, like who's that Pokemon? Can you guys put in the comments who the hell you think this is? I mean, I can't grasp who it is. It kind of looks like Corky, but it also doesn't. I don't know, like if you guys have any idea who it is, just put it in the comments. So let me tell you about this build. You start with the hunting goose. Even though they nerfed this item, it's still so good. Let me tell you why. First of all, it gives you 25 ability power. Second of all, of course, you know, the passive that gives you the bonus damage capped at 6% after 5% fighting, after 5 seconds of fighting. But the whole big thing about this item is the 200 max health. This is an item, like look at how cheap it is. How cheap is it? It's like 1200 gold. It's 1300 gold. And it gives you the ability power, the passive, and 200 max health. In the early game, when you're level 1 and level 2, level 3, you have around 700-800 HP. Are you guys getting how big this is? This makes you so much tankier in the early game, and it also gives you a decent amount of damage, and in the longer fight it gives you even more damage. So that's why this is still, even after the nerf, gonna be your first item on Akali. And then after that you go for the Rabadon's death cap. And I know Rabadon got nerfed. Rabadon is very expensive. It's gonna take a while to get your power spike. So the power spike that you are gonna have before the first dragon is this one. There it is. You're gonna have the hunting goose, and you're gonna have the needlessly large rod. This is not a huge power spike by any means, but you're still gonna have 85 ability power, 200 bonus max health, and of course the passive of the hunting goose. As I said, this is not a massive power spike, so perhaps during the first dragon fight you might struggle a little bit, but it's not that bad. But yeah, as I said, you go for the Rabadon's death cap second, and when you do finish this item, it only gets better, because this is where you start to do real big damage after that Rabadon's death cap. So after Rabadon's death cap, in 99% of the games you would go for Infinity Orb. Honestly, I would always go for the Infinity Orb. The thing is, it's just always worth it, because your ultimate deals more damage to enemies that are low HP, that are at low HP, and then the Infinity Orb makes it deal even more damage. And you want to get this item quite early on, because it also gives you that 15. Ooh, that sound, Jesus. It also gives you that 15 flat magic penetration and the bonus movement speed. It's just literally the perfect item for Akali. Now for your boots, you generally want to go for Mercury threads. because you are a bit vulnerable to CC. See, the only thing that you do have to counter CC is your second ability. You know, when you get stunned, you can immediately use your second ability before getting stunned, for example, so the enemies can't see you. But besides that, you're very vulnerable to CC. Like when you use your ultimate and go into the enemy, you're very vulnerable to it. So Mercury's Threats, if the enemy has a significant amount of CC, you can go for Ionic Boots of Lucidity if you just want to spam your ultimate to burst enemies down. You can also go for Glutinous Greaves if you want to be sustaining through the fight. If the enemy has champions like maybe Riven, Darius, you know, these champions that deal continuous damage, then it could be a good idea to get the Glutinous Greaves to heal up while dealing damage. But I mostly recommend the Mercury Threats. For your enchantments, definitely Stasis Enchant. Definitely. Because after, like, when you use the first charge of your ultimate, it's gonna take like 3 seconds to get your second charge. You can use stasis during that, and then you're gonna have your second charge immediately. Second good way to use stasis is just after using the second charge of your ultimate, you might be super low, you can use stasis. Another good way is you use stasis to wait for the cooldown of your third ability, and then you can jump over the wall and escape. Stasis is just perfect for Akali. You should really always pick it up. And then for your third item, well, fourth item realistically, either Lichbane or the Void Staff. If the enemy has a lot of magic resist, if they have a lot of tanks, you go for the Void Staff. If they have squishies, you go for the Lichbane. And here, oh my god, the whole purpose of Lichbane is burst. After you use any ability and you do a basic attack on the enemy, it deals so much burst damage with the Lichbane. It's basically like a late game Hextech Gunblade. Not exactly, of course, but basically it has the same purpose, the burst damage, but you're gonna have it continuously. That's the thing about Lichbane. So in the late game, this is incredibly powerful. And then after your Lichbane, make sure you got a Void Staff, it's just always worth it. And then of course, as your very last item, you finish off the Leander's Torment. I never really finished this item earlier because look, it only gives you 50 more health than the Haunting Goose. And you're going to be dealing a lot of burst damage anyway. So this item, you know, just get it as your very last item when you've built everything. You only really need the Hunting Goose. Okay, for the runes, you want to go for Conqueror or Fleet Footwork. If you have a hard matchup, you can go for Fleet Footwork. Like in the mid lane, if you have an annoying ranged matchup like Twisted Faith, maybe Orianna, you know, just an annoying matchup, go for Fleet Footwork. Otherwise, you go for Conqueror to just do even more damage. And for the second rune, honestly, I just really like Brutal because I feel like the other ones are not the most amazing on Akali. I mean, you could go for Hunter Vampirism potentially to get the Vampirism, but Brutal is just more reliable damage in the early game as well because Akali does struggle a little bit in the early game now in her laning, so Brutal, you know, it's just always going to be nice. And now for your third rune, Hunter Titan, because you don't want to get CC'd, as I said. I would always really want Hunter Titan. Back when I used to play some Akali, because I've actually played like 70 games of Akali or something like that for the old Akali videos that I made. But this one was just randomly out of nowhere. Like I haven't played Akali for 2 months, but I used to always want Hunter Titan, and I asked about it too. Conditioning is conditioning. Nah, it's not a thing on Akali because you don't want to be tanking any damage, so you definitely don't want to go for conditioning. Adaptive Carapace could be good in the early game, but generally go for Hunter Titan for that anti-CC, guys, the tenacity. Now for your fourth rune, Sweet Tooth, because Sweet Tooth is broken. Actually, you could go for Hunter Genius, but Sweet Tooth is broken. Oops. Yeah, there it is. So you should go for Sweet Tooth. So for your spells, you want to go for Flash and Barrier. You can go for Ignite, but the thing is, Akali already deals so much damage, so it actually provides more value to go for a Barrier instead of an Ignite. So that was it about the build. Let's now get into the gameplay. Alright, on to the gameplay, and as you can see, this is actually a pretty high quality game. You know, this is like a Grandmaster game, and this game is gonna be so amazing. Like, it's also funny because I'm actually against a friend of mine, which is the Xin Chao. He's a support main, it's Kamulto, so he's a support main playing the Xin Chao in the jungle. And like, I actually didn't know it was him at first because it's his Smurf, but yeah, enough about it, you guys probably don't care about that. So yeah, Akali. Why did I pick Akali if I haven't played her for 2 months? The first reason is, if you look at my team composition, I was the last pick, and my team went for full attack damage. I was like, no, I do not want to have a full attack damage composition because they have a Xin Chao. He can just go for full armor. Yeah, this is here I knew it was him. So what was I talking about? Sorry. Yeah, I didn't want to have full attack damage, so I picked Akali. And you'll actually see me struggle in the early game because this is and I actually chose to upload this on YouTube anyways, because this is going to be a more correct representation of how it's going to feel like for you to play Akali, because this is not an easy champion. This is a really, really hard champion to play. And the old Akali used to be able to completely demolish enemies in the lane with the first ability, but take a look at right now. Like, I'm going to try to trade with the Akshan. Take a look. Boom. Look, I'm not doing much against him. As you can see, I'm losing. So you can clearly see Akali is significantly weaker with trading in the lane right now. And that it makes sense because it used to be completely broken. So the mindset of Akali has changed, guys. It's changed the way that you have to play her. Back in the days, it used to just be to poke the enemy in the lane and completely demolish him. Now, no. Now your mindset is burst. She's really, really heavily burst reliant. It's the whole thing that she does. Only in the very late game does she actually deal very nice sustained damage as well. When you get like 2 items or something like that, that's when you actually, deal quite a lot of sustained damage on top of the burst damage that you deal. But in the early game, you should mainly focus on the burst damage. And the most important thing when you play Akali is your passive. Do not ignore this passive. If you don't know how it works already, whenever you hit, there, you see that? Whenever you hit an enemy with an ability, you get like a green circle, as you can see. So you have to walk out of that circle to catch your sword, and then you're gonna have your attacks are gonna have bonus range, and you're gonna get bonus movement speed towards an enemy. So you have to utilize this. This is like, if you don't do this, you're gonna lose more than half of your damage, because it deals a lot of damage, and it's just like the movement speed and everything. This is how you can keep fighting with Akali, guys. About the second ability, this ability is. It has a few uses. This is obviously also a really important ability. So let me tell you about the uses of it. First of all, the obvious one, it's smoke. You put smoke on the ground, enemies cannot see you. It's really, really good to throw down if you don't want to get hit by enemies. We all know that. But the other one is energy. So when you put it on the ground, it regenerates like 80% of your energy, 80% of your max energy, and then on top of that, over a duration of a few seconds, over a duration of the whole period, it regenerates even more energy. So it's basically used for energy regeneration as well during team fights. So you basically want to use it when you've already used up a lot of your energy, because you're gonna get the most out of it then, because it's gonna regenerate your energy, and then you can keep fighting, keep using your first ability. And yeah, here I actually tried to catch you, but unfortunately I didn't. And then we have the ultimate, the big ultimate, the massive burst ability. This is honestly one of the most satisfying abilities in the game, because if you hit it on enemies that are low, you're gonna completely one-shot them. It's incredible how much damage this ability deals. But it's also somewhat hard to use, because when you do the first charge, you actually have to wait like 3 seconds for the second charge. So during those 3 seconds, of course, you shouldn't die. And the reason that it can be hard is because you have to use the ultimate on an enemy to engage on them. So you're going to be engaging into the enemy, and then you have to survive for 3 more seconds until you can use it again. So that's why your smoke comes in. So generally, you use your ultimate, then you immediately use your smoke, because you have to survive, right? So here the dragon is up. I want to help my team. Akshan is pushing the bot lane. We're in a 5 versus 4 situation here if the Lucian is here. For some reason, people are just backporting now, which I don't really like. But yeah. Oh, here, you may think that I'm in trouble, but no. Easy. Easy peasy. They're fighting without me, though. Oh, they already used 2 very important ultimates, so we could still potentially take a fight. Here, I went for the Xin Chao, but I got stunned by the cannon. And here you can see it. Exactly what I was talking about. So I used my ultimate, but you have to wait for like 3 seconds until you can use the second charge, and I died within those 3 seconds. So you have to be very careful with Akali when you engage like that, because even though I got a kill on the Xin Chao, of course, like I could have gotten more out of that. That was pretty stupid, because I just used my ultimate and I kind of wasted it. I only traded a kill for it, and I don't have my ultimate anymore, which is quite stupid. We have really good vision though, so I'm obviously gonna try to go for the Xin Chao. I'm not just gonna give him the free dragon. So let's take a look at what's gonna happen. Oh, he actually smited the dragon to heal up. But he doesn't have a smite anymore now. I'm just utilizing my shroud, as you can see. I'm dealing an incredible amount of damage with my shroud. And yeah, there it is. Boom. Easy. That was really, really good from us. And you can see that the shroud of Akali can be so amazing during those fights. Because, like, I just engaged, used the shroud, and they couldn't kill me. They just can't kill you when you use the shroud. This is just some inside joke with me and my friend. Just some inside joke. Don't worry about it. Okay, so another thing to understand with Akali is she's really good at 1v1s. She's really, really good at 1v1s with the ultimate, because when you engage with that ultimate, you have an insane burst potential. But against an Akshan, of course, right now, I'm not going to be able to kill him easily because he has the third ability to run away. But generally, against an enemy that doesn't have a lot of mobility, you should be able to just always assassinate them. You know, whenever you catch them, you should be able to easily assassinate them. And right now, I actually got my Repidon's death cap. So this is a massive power spike. Like, now I'm so strong. So let's take a look at what the hell is going to happen. So the enemies already used their important CC abilities. And I'm just trying to catch someone here, maybe, you know. But yeah, they run away. So another thing to do with Akali and pretty much any other champion, actually. Oh, here I'm just dead. Yeah. So I was just gonna explain what you should do. You should know which abilities have been used and which haven't. This is a general tip that I have for you, but it's also really, like, it's especially important on Akali, because like the Akshan ultimate completely hard counters me, because I cannot dodge it. My shroud doesn't dodge his ultimate. So I should have known that he hadn't used his ultimate yet. I saw that team fight. I saw that the cannon used his ultimate, but I didn't pay attention to these two. And I should have. Like, this is, you should know what you're walking into, because I engaged in that fight without knowing that they both still had their ultimates. So that was actually a pretty big mistake from me right there. You should know which abilities are on and off cooldown. 1 second. Yeah. Here I'm pushing. Akali is actually not the worst at pushing lanes either. You may think that Akali is a mage, so she can't push turrets too fast, but she actually does push turrets pretty fast. Not like, obviously not the fastest, but it's not bad. So split pushing on Akali, I'm not saying it's amazing, but it's doable. You can get turrets pretty fast, at a pretty decent rate. Oh, no! Oh, why did I not just use my ultimate on him there? Can you believe that? How did I miss? That was so stupid. Okay. That was so stupid. Vi is coming, so I need to engage now. Yeah. I should not have used my ultimate here because it was unnecessary. I should have saved my ultimate at this scenario. Because, you know, even though I didn't know whether or not the Vi was going to use her ultimate, I mean, she was pretty obviously going to use her ultimate. I should have just checked before the fight. I should have checked definitely. And this is also a tip that I have for you guys. You should check if your teammates have ultimates when they're ganking you. So you should know what to expect. So I should have expected the Vi to use her ultimate, and I should not have used mine. I should have just conserved it and saved it for the dragon or something like that. Or like another kill, maybe. Boom. Boom. Oy. They're both flash. Oh my god. And by the way, a quick little tip. Your first ability, if you hit the enemy on the outer layer of the first ability, it also briefly slows them. So keep that in mind. You know, you really want to try to hit enemies on that outer layer of the first ability. Like the outer, it's not the outer half, it's like a outer quarter of the first ability, because then you're going to slow them on top of the damage, which is really, really powerful. And it's going to make it way easier for you to catch up to your passive as well. So the ocean dragon is spawning, the team is fighting without us, which is really stupid. Of course they die if they fight without us, I mean, it makes sense. Ooh, the cannon. Yeah, I just went on Akshan, and the main reason for that is because I just didn't want him to revive any of his allies. And like, I killed him now, so yeah, he's not going to be able to revive allies anymore. So if my team somehow wins this fight now, at least Akshan is not going to revive allies. Yeah, they're probably gonna get this dragon. There's no way that we can engage this. Oh, the Vayne is pretty strong, man. Oh god. Huh, he actually still gave the kill to Lelouch, which is kind of funny. Yeah, the Ocean Drake is probably one of the best drakes that you could get on Akali, because you're gonna get that 8% Omnivamp, which is so powerful. Like, you're gonna be healing up during those team fights, on top of all the damage that you're dealing already. Oh, so yeah, another tip that I have for you guys is, with the third ability, it might not always be easy to hit, but there is one way to guarantee a hit, which is when an enemy is CC'd. You know, when an enemy is stunned, knocked up, rooted, charmed, whatever, you can easily hit your third ability on them, because of course they're standing in one spot, so you can just easily hit it on them. So keep that in mind as well. He's gonna use his ultimate. This was very obvious, so I ran out of his ultimate. You know, this is just positioning that you have to have with Akali. You really have to play like an assassin, and an assassin does not want to get caught into Cannon's ultimate. Of course, you know, you're not gonna be able to tank it up. You're not tanky at all. So I just stayed careful there. I let the cannon go in, and I just, you know, I stay at the side. I do not engage into the cannon ultimate, of course, and only after his ultimate is done, that's when I took the fight. And you really have to have this vision on Akali, as in, you have to know what the hell is happening, what to avoid in team fights, because you're very squishy, as I said. The whole thing about Akali is you have to survive in fights to deal a lot of damage. That's how she works. Because of the ultimate, you have to wait for it. You know, you have to survive for a really long time. Even though she's a burst champion, it's not fully burst, I guess. It's otherwise it would be completely broken, right? And I kind of want to make more of these types of videos where I revisit, or yeah, where I either revisit a champion after a few months, or where I just play a champion for the first time and make a video out of it. I don't know if you guys want to see it. Actually, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed these videos too, because right now I can obviously still teach you about Akali, because I've played a lot of Akali in the past. As I said, I've played like 70 games of Akali, but that was 2, 3, 4 months ago, and the last time I played Akali was 2 months ago. So I'm just kind of experimenting with a new type of video, because, you know, I'm a very high ranked player. I play every single, well, 95% of the champions. I can't lie, of course. And I just kind of want to try to revisit champions, maybe first time champions, and show you guys how it looks like. You know, how it looks like when I'm playing it, because obviously this is not perfect Akali gameplay. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I was able to actually really talk about them and tell you why it was a mistake. Oh, the Akshan revived 2 of his allies. See how annoying Akshan can be? He just kills one of your teammates and then he revives his allies. It's so insane, that passive. It can be so broken in the late game. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm looking for the turret here, by the way. We have the Baron, so, you know, I'm just pushing. I'm just pushing the turrets. I have my ult ready. Okay. This is too risky to go in. I hope I don't go in with my ult. Yeah. Way too risky. Vi failed her flash, unfortunately, but even if she hit it, we would not have been able to engage there. Oh, the Vayne is coming. I actually hit her. This was just a panic. I honestly panicked. I just used my stasis enchant to buy myself a little more time, because using my ultimate was not gonna work there. What I could have and should have done is use my ultimate first and then go into the stupid stasis, because then I would have had the second charge of my ultimate. Oh my god, that was a beautiful Braum ultimate, but the Xin Chao ultimate blocked all of that Lucian damage. That was crazy. Wow. 1 second, I just need to write something down real quick. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm just telling my team to relax, you know, just play the game, see how it goes. And I'm really curious what you guys are gonna think about a video like this, honestly. You know, where I'm not, you know, where I haven't actually played the champion a million times before the video. And yeah, I'm just really curious what you guys think. They're gonna get this. Yeah, that sucks. I go in with my ultimate, boom, boom. Ooh, do you see that? Oh, I'm serious with you. I actually haven't played Akali for 2 months. I genuinely haven't. But that was hella clean. That was hella clean. And of course, I'm gonna put that in the highlight of the video, pretending as if it was just nothing, you know, it was just easy. This was just easily done. Oh, okay, that was good. That was so good. So yeah, of course, Akali has flash combos, guys. You can combo the first ability and the third ability with the flash. And the way that you do that is you first click on those abilities and then you immediately flash. Immediately. You have to do it immediately because otherwise it's not going to work. It's like doing the Darius flash hook. You hook and then you flash. I tried to ult here, but of course I wait for the cannon. I tried to catch up to him, but I couldn't. But here, you can now see sustained damage. Oh no, this was not well done by me. I played that fight really terribly actually. Yeah. Somehow I stayed alive, but I really played that fight terribly. Let's take a look at this. Akshan tries to catch me. Boom, 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 boom. This is of course a thing that Akali can do. When you hit that third ability and when you have the Infinity Orb, you will burst and squishies down from 50%, just like that. Only with your third ability and your first ability. That is the late game. Oh, and the Lich Bane. Lich Bane also has a big part of that, by the way. That's the whole point of this build, guys. You have so much burst damage in the late game. And you'll continuously have that. That's the thing. You'll continuously have that. Every time you use that combo, you will have that burst damage. So now I have the blue buff as well, and Akali with the blue buff is honestly unstoppable because you're going to regenerate your energy super fast and you're going to be able to continuously spam your first ability during teamfights. It's really powerful to have a blue buff on Akali. Here you can see how fast I'm regenerating my energy with the blue buff. It's insane. It's honestly insane. Yeah, of course I'm gonna go for the Void Staff now. This is a very important item. What is it called? The Void and suddenly English error. The component, yes, the component for the Void Staff that gives you 20% magic penetration. That one is actually really important because it provides a lot of value. It's essentially like half a Void Staff, right? It's half a Void Staff because it gives you that 20% penetration, which is really good. It scales perfectly with your ability power. So of course you want to get that one first. That's the first component that you always want to get of the Void Staff when you're building it. I have to be a bit careful with the Xin Chao because he deals so much damage and he's pretty tanky as well. So here I know that the Akshan and the cannon have used ultimates, but Xin Chao still has his ultimate, so I have to be a bit careful about that, of course. Boom, I go on the Akshan on the squishy target. I flash and this was just absolutely horrible. Look, now I'm dead. Why am I dead? Why am I dead? Let me tell you the main reason that I'm dead. I mean, besides the obvious idiotic dive, the main reason that I was dead is because I used all of my engaging abilities and I didn't have my second ability anymore. I did not have my Shroud anymore. Because normally when you engage like that, even though it was an idiotic engage, but normally you would use your second ability immediately, the Shroud, to save your ass. But there I did not have it. So in a situation like that, where you do not have your Shroud, you really have to be wary about engaging like that. And I didn't there. Which was really stupid of me. Oh, what is happening? Ah, that actually went pretty decently for us. They killed the cannon and they traded Fiora for cannon. So yeah, the enemies still get the Baron, but it's fine, I guess. It's fine, yeah. They killed that cannon, which is a really important teamfight champion of them. We should honestly force the dragon here, because we're in a 4 versus 4 situation. We have quite strong champions in a 4 versus 4 situation compared to a 5 versus 5, because you know the enemy has cannon, so now they don't have the cannon. And I do a lot of single target damage, Fi deals a lot of single target damage. We have to take this fight, and Xin Chao engages. We have to kill him now, fast. Boom, boom, boom. He's dead. Take the dragon. Oh, damn. Here you can see that my Akali is getting back a little bit. Like, this is obviously way better gameplay than the beginning of the game. These are the fast, you know, these are the fast finger combos with Akali that you can do. Oh, and of course I get him as well. Yeah, you know, the thing with Akali is it takes some time. It takes some time. But once you get good at the champion, it's honestly free wins. Even though she got nerfed really hard, if you get used to this champion and know all the combos and you just, you know, really fully understand the way that she works, her kit, the mindset, the combos, everything, then she's really free wins. It's like Katarina. You know, Katarina's pretty much the same, but I would say Katarina is a bit easier to play. I'm also working on a Katarina video, by the way. But yeah, a 30-minute video. Wow, this did not feel like a 30-minute video. I was having a lot of fun making this video. 30 minutes, damn. Okay, I really didn't think that was actually 30 minutes. Hey, 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 don't bury me. No. I'm joking. Okay, that's stupid. Yeah, I got 80. I did a lot of damage. And yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, the camera, the quality of my camera. I should bring back a lamp here because the quality is so bad because the lightning is like a yellow light. But okay, enough about that. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.